with the setup there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So did you find the place where it looks like you need to do?
Can you show your screen?
Yeah. Application window. But you're in there, right? Oh, it doesn't look like okay. So, were you able to create a cucumber scenario, or even any?
I didn't start.
You didn't start.
Adding
Okay.
scenarios and things to it.
All right. Do you want? Let me get you up to speed on what I did, and tell me if you think that I should have done something differently.
The add 9 space.
Yeah. It's. I was reluctant at first. I was like, oh, I'm going to do everything on my own, like I do with everything else, and then just connect with Git. But the no, none is good. Are you able to see the screen that I shared?
I'm opening it now. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. It said you were screen sharing, and then there's a button that says present to everyone. But there's no way to get rid of that. That's all right. Okay. So yeah, I like it a lot. It's pretty zippy, and you can do anything you can do on it. So it's kind of neat. Yeah. So did you even get the repo for typo?
Yeah, I got the typo all set up.
Okay.
I started working on an open source project today, so I didn't make any more progress on the homework.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand that. All right, so what I did is I went to a view category. I created this thing called view categories because if I'm not mistaken, what was messed up was the fact that when you click on that button, it doesn't take you to the category page. It shows you roots. I looked at roots, and it looks like the roots that are defined for categories. Like here, it's ID page, and then.
Could we start by going to the app and looking at the error message?
Yeah, let's do that. So let's try it. I don't have any automation. I haven't set up guard or anything like that. That's on my to-do list. Have you used that?
I just used it in the homework assignments where it was set up for me. I didn't add it to the homework assignments where it wasn't set up already.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so I'm doing everything like starting the server manually and then running tests and I'm just still sort of wobbly on my legs with respect to having robots do all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of content to cover.
Exactly. I think it's great. I think once it's more second nature, it'll be a real time saver, an effort saver to have that stuff set up. But right now, I'm still sort of. All right. Well, I actually have. Oh yeah. Sorry. The admin page, because it has me signed in. So here's the admin page. Now, when you click on category, it does this. Now, I think that might not be the original error because I added some root stuff.
That looks familiar.
Oh, this. So now this tells us, I guess, that the new method in category controller needs some help. So, were you able to see the web page?
Yeah, I can see your screen right now.
You can see both tabs?
Yeah, I can see your entire Chrome window.
Okay. Can you see any other applications? Like,
That's all I can see right now is your Chrome window.
Okay. So, so I think it's probably the case. The categories controller, the new method in category controller is the kind of thing you need to look at. So, since I'm not that used to test-driven development yet, but that's the whole point of this, is try to get used to that. My knee jerk was to just be like, well, let's go look at that method and see how to fix it. But I guess the idea would be to try to write an RSpec test right away.
I think they need to start with the cucumber test and then go and add an RSpec afterwards.
Oh, actually, let me show you the cucumber, because I think I handled that already. Like I said, I wrote a cucumber scenario. Hold on. That says, tell me what you think of this. Go to the category page. As a blog administrator, in order to see the blogging categories, I want to be able to do the category page. Back given the blog is set up, I'm on the admin panel. It's just for review categories. When I follow categories, I should be on the categories page. Now, do you think I left anything out there?
Could you go back for a second?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're able to, yeah.
Yeah, so scenario should be, I guess, given I'm logged into the main panel and on like categories index page or something. I don't. Or
Yeah.
All they want to be able to do is create new ones and edit ones, but being able to see them.
Well, that's what I was a little bit confused about, because in the assignment it just says, here's the bug, and the bug is the page gives you an error instead of just loading up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's necessary at this stage in the game for us to have to test whether or not you can actually add categories, just that you can see the page and it looks right.
Right, and
so I don't know.
That wasn't explicitly put in there, but it might make the rest of it might make the rest of the scenarios easier.
That's probably true. I think it's sort of the easier problem to tackle, and one that, yeah, you know. But all right, so.
Or if we have a category, then we could just start with like being able to edit a category if we know the ID. Like if we inspect the database and get an ID of a category we know exists. If we just go to
okay.
console.
A couple things. First of all, let me show you. I'm just going to run through things.
Did you complete the book chapters?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah. I went through them kind of quickly, but I did get through all of them.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same situation. I got a lot of other stuff going on too. But so now when you run RSpec, say, admin controllers. It's controllers admin. It's the structure of this is a little overwhelming because it's real. Yeah, controllers admin. Sorry, controllers admin, and then category. Controllers RSpec. You can see what's already in there. And the fact that it passes. Takes us to that. No, it doesn't pass. Oh, it doesn't pass because we have to still do this. This tripped me up for a while. You have to get the test. Do you remember what the command is to prepare the test database?
Yeah, it's rake db :test :prepare.
Pretty straightforward. There we go. Sorry. All right. So now if we run these, it should be. Hopefully. Okay, yeah. So those tests work. So now, the place I got information about what we should be looking for in terms of the shape in the database of categories, I think you were asking about that.
Mm-hmm.
It says categories controller, and then they use factories to create like there's personal is one of the names of categories. It needs all paths. So I'm not sure what permalink means in this case. Do you know? I don't really understand factory girl very well.
Could you say that a little bit louder?
I'm sorry. I don't really understand what permalink means in this case. See on line 48. I think it's something to do with factory girl. So we might not need to worry about that.
Permalink is one of the attributes of a category. So factory is the factory function is creating a factory, and then it's assigning the attribute personal to the attribute permalink and personal to the attribute name. There should also inside the spec folder there should be a file which has the definition of a factory creation.
Looking for that, but
I don't remember exactly what it was called. I think
but
it was
it's
one
definition
file,
of-
like Factory Girl or something, and then has the definitions for all the factories.
Are we still in the inspector? Models. I don't think so. No. Oh, do you have any ideas?
I can.
There we are. Factories.rb.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also a search command if sometimes it's really helpful, or things that are nested. If you press Command B, it opens up a search. But
Okay. So let's actually search in this file. There we are.
and you
Fine.
can do
Category
partial.
C.name factory.next. C.name factory.
Do you have a Macintosh computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's what it's got those two attributes. So I guess we don't have to worry about anything else. But so what? Do you have an idea about how I'd go about making a test to test what we want to test? It's just essentially that it loads the page.
Right. I just looked at the other one and I was gonna try and make something similar. So the edit, I was trying to figure out what fields would need to be in existence for the user to be able to fill in for a category. So like name would be one field, and then so look to see if that field is on the page.
Okay. What's the page called? It's a view. It's one of the things.
So what I did was go to the console and or the terminal and just type in rake routes to get the list of routes.
Right.
And it's crazy long, so I filtered the results.
Or what? Right.
If you do grep, rake routes, grep, and then just add categories or category.
Okay. You think that's all of them? Or should I safe side capture the single? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Looks correct. Where it has the controller. Just wasn't sure if we got the pluralization thing correct.
Yeah, I think Rails generally takes care of that. Oh, but you have to do it yourself in order to make sure. Okay.
But yeah, admin categories.
Sorry?
The
Admin
row with
category.
admin categories should be what we're looking for, I think.
Right.
Or
We don't, and we don't want to look at the one with an action.
or edit category would be just for editing in new category. I guess those three would be of interest, and then post.
All right. But right now, the problem we're trying to solve is just for the admin page. Come on, right? You think my vision is too limited?
Yeah. So perhaps we need to create something like maybe there's an admin edit category, like a prefixed. We need to find something.
So you mean, well, so maybe my understanding is that we're trying to make sure that this route works, admin category.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with how the admin prefix works.
Well, that's the sort of area we're in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, so we're in the admin area. So I think the idea is that we're trying to look at all of the categories from the entire site, and that there are other users that might have other blogs, and we would be changing that behavior of the entire site for all of them in the admin capacity when we're editing this particular category. But what's confusing to me is this. I don't think there is a row that, if you notice here, it goes to admin categories / new. So maybe there's no route for that, because we have admin categories here, and then we have admin categories with an action that also takes an ID as part of the route. Since, and that's kind of consistent with what this error message is telling us, because it's saying there's, like, without an ID. Right?
Right. So I guess we could inspect the routes file and just see if there's a route for admin categories, edit, or new. Yeah. So
The admin. 0. Oh. What are the routes for admin? Yeah. Admin blank, and then admin action. Advanced. Okay, so you see this quoted string here has all the different things under admin that are then being iterated through and set to this I variable. One of them is categories. So this does build a route for admin category. Are you convinced of that?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
So when we see the route admin categories new, it's actually matching this, I guess, but it's expecting an ID.
So the first line, the first match line is mapping everything to an index.
Yeah, but I don't think it matches. Well, I guess it does match.
So yeah, it's matching
the first one,
controller without an action, right? So it's just matching admin and then all those different types of objects without an action.
Yeah. I guess it is, even though the second one does match. But I guess this one would match all of those before this one gets a chance to do so, right?
And the second one, the second mesh line, look, is an action assigned to nil. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird, right? But it's true for all of these other things, including category, including comments and feedback, and all of those links work. If you look here, we can look at comments, and that's admin feedback, and it's fine. And all articles, admin content, and that's fine. And then tags, admin tags, and that's fine. So what I suspect is that with categories, for some reason, it's going to this new route, because that's what it says on the link.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were not doing homework in a class where I'm trying to learn how to use testing-driven development, I would just say, well, the link is wrong on that page.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I guess
if you just manually insert the base.
I mean just categories.
Yeah.
Redirects to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that must be in the actual category control. And I discovered that in fact that's what happens. You see here, line 4.
Mm-hmm. Redirected new.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what to do about that.
We could just remove the redirect and
but then index doesn't render anything. It doesn't. There's no method associated with index except for that. So it wouldn't do.
Looks like the newer edit has a render partial and min content categories, so it looks like there's a view already created.
Right. So it's supposed to run that. I mean, I think if you look at this also, if you look at the error, it tells you the line in the controller file. The error is line 28. The line 28 is where the method starts. Oh yeah, see, so it's really happening here, I think. Category. But here's the problem I have. Do you think I'm going off the rails a little bit? No pun intended, because I think we're supposed to figure this stuff out by writing tests rather than by just looking at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So I think we've sort of figured out, like, we could probably hack this file and get it to work right by like messing with new or edit. Because it seems like doesn't it seem like a method that was deliberately put in there by someone given an assignment of new or edit? What programmer would make a method that does just like 2 things? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, my idea is that I think that we should have discovered this by writing tests. Now, am I overthinking this?
Like, I think we should write some tests, but so like clueless. I wasn't even sure what test to start with, so I was just trying to, look at some various things to get a starting place. And like, if you know what test to write, then.
Well, I don't actually. That was where I kind of stopped. And I sort of dragged you along the path that I went along in terms of my investigation of this. And I wasn't sure. I was sort of guessing whether I was even looking at the right stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I started like looking at the structure of the database and stuff like that, and then after I figured out the basic structure, and then I would just figure out what view, or start with like the controller and the route and the view, and so I mean we could write tests for just the controller. And
well, here's what I'm kind of confused about. Should we write a test that tests? Yeah, I guess we should test categories.
I mean, that was kind of the process that they had before, was like figure out just how the controller is supposed to wire things up and write the tests to confirm that it wires things up correctly, like it maps the right requests to the right code blocks.
Okay. All right. So now here we are in the categories controller area of our test. And I found this one when it says show the non-existent category. And it says it should raise record not found. So this test is testing for the behavior that we're seeing, but it's not the behavior that we want. But it is the behavior that we would want if we sent the food permanently. But I mean, yeah, we're not sending any data. So do you think we should empty? I don't really understand this very well. I kind of looked at it a bit, but I was life on Mars, things, stuff. So category control index. This is what we want, right?
Is that inside the admin folder? You can't see the full path.
No, it's not. This is. Thanks for pointing that out. That was a good catch. Oops. Okay. Sorry. So now it's this one. Yeah. So it's testing this controller. No, no. So we need to make sure we have an admin.
Is that to do in there, or did you put that in there?
No, I didn't put that in. That's the legacy code. See that? It should render template unique. Test index. So it's function redirection action. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I messed up because I wasn't running the right. No, I was. Okay. Yeah. So these all pass. I'm not sure why they kind of a mystery. I mean, it's an interesting exercise because I think I would just change the file to have it display an empty template without checking the parameter because there won't be an ID if you just go in there and add it. How would you test that? That's the question. Any ideas? Hmm. Right, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit at sea here at this point. So let's just try something. I guess. I don't really. I don't really. Go ahead.
We could run the test and then just pick up from where it's like find some that are working and then see what.
I'm sorry. Find some that are working.
Yeah. Yeah. These tests are they're partials that are being reused over and over again. So.
All right. So run the test. I'll run the test. I don't remember the output being particularly helpful. Yeah, it said it passed. What's it? It just said 0 failures. 6 examples, 0 failures. That's
Try
not
running the cucumber tests.
okay. So the only one that failed.
Categories. And what's the error that?
Can't find the category. Yeah, I mean, this is the.
What's the error message?
It's the one I wrote. It's the one that's failing, and the error message is just basically the same as this one. It's doing the same thing. Is there a difference? I mean, it looks almost the same.
So the problem is with the new category page because right, that's the link that we're clicking.
Yeah. I think so. Or the fact that it should be. I mean, yeah, the fact that it should just show a category page.
So,
It should just show category. And maybe on that page, it could allow us to create a new one. But I think it should behave like the tags page. There are no new tags. So big.
that's not a new page. That's just the index page.
Right. The categories are supposed to be new. I mean, the question is,
there shouldn't be an ID for the new. We shouldn't need an ID, right?
in fact, it shouldn't require one because that's what's security. So there should be a new. So is it in the routes or is it in the actual? Well, it's in the controller because there's no way to go to a page that's a view that's controlled by that controller without running that edit or move. There's no way to do it.
To look in the admin controller new category, the admin categories controller.
This thing we were looking at before with the newer edit method in it. So what happens here is the index to new. So no matter what, like if you don't provide new, okay, so if you go with new, what's this?
And the control flow would continue to the mute or edit function or method.
And then
that's what the error message is telling us. And then
we run into line 28 where it's looking for the ID. And it's nil.
So find params ID.
So yeah, I don't think it would be too
only when we're editing would we be looking for a param ID, right?
Right. So I don't think it would be too difficult to hack this to make it work. But so I was trying to figure out a way to do it using RSpec, to actually run this test first.
You have the test that's failing.
So the cucumber scenario.
Yeah.
But now but that's like behavior driven, and then we have to go to RSpec to actually test, to write a test for the method itself, rather than just a white box test that Cucumber does. It just sort of approaches the web like a regular user. It just reports that we got this weird error. So the next step, according to what they're trying to teach us in this class, I think, is that we have to write
they already provided us with RSpec parts of
well, there aren't any ones that are failing. You need to have a failing one.
Like Cucumber calls, like Cucumber and RSpec work together. Cucumber matches phrases and then calls RSpec.
It does? Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just try to fix the.
They call the helper functions in Cucumber. There's lots of helper functions.
Okay, I didn't. All right. I thought the idea with Cucumber was that you were actually testing the web application as it faces the world, and that with RSpec, that's when you start writing tests that stub everything out to only test functionality.
RSpec is just is a lot more abstract than. I mean, Cucumber, the behavior-driven development, is a lot more abstract than.
So what about all? But with Cucumber, you can actually exercise the functionality of the entire app because it's sort of up and running. Whereas with RSpec, there were like stubs and stuff where you're just testing individual.
The difference is that the tests are cross-cutting between multiple. They cross-cut across multiple classes and modules and so forth.
Okay. All right. So what would you like to do? Want to just try to hack this file and make the Cucumber scenario work? We could do that. I mean, if I were changing this, I would divide up new and edit and have them be different functions, different methods. I think it's crazy to have new and edit.
The when you're doing a save, then like when you're posting to new or edit, you're essentially you're doing very similar things.
Yeah, but it seems like edit requires a parameter because you have to know what category you're editing. Whereas with new, you can't have a parameter. It throws an error because trying to call this method with no parameter, with no ID. So I think that edit and new are different things in a very important way, and that way is that edit requires an ID to know what you're editing, and new has to not be an ID.
I don't know if I'm mixing it up or not, but they have like a page presented to the user for creating and editing, and then they have just like when you have the information, you're just making an API call. So
okay. So how would that
API call?
All right. So how would that look?
You need to present a display to the user so they can enter information.
Okay. So how would we change this to make that happen?
So instead of just having a new, there's like a create and a new. And for edit, we would display a view to the user that's pre-populated with the fields from some object that's already in existence.
Okay. All right. So should I make a create method then?
So I think it was a show method. And
I'm sorry, a show method?
Yeah, show method. There's an index, a show, a create. I don't remember if create or new which one of them was the presentation and which one was the API call.
New usually means there's nothing there yet. And then create is the one that is called when you filled in the stuff and you're activating that. Save count. Exactly. So I guess that gets called here.
Yeah, I believe the new is because if you think in terms of resources, you're getting a new resource.
Okay. So we should probably change this so that it doesn't just call new or edit.
So instead, you have a create page. We could redirect to create. Right. I mean, the two words are so similar to me, but
yeah,
I get confused. But we want to separate them out somehow.
I'm very
confused. Create and new.
I'm very confused now because I feel like we're trying to do more than one thing at a time. You know what I mean? But maybe we have to. But it makes me nervous. I kind of want to get the page to just load, and then maybe figure out all the functionality it's supposed to be responsible for once that. Or do you think that it's not possible to sort of separate those tasks?
Could you repeat that?
I feel like the initial problem we're trying to solve is just to get the page loaded, get it to actually present us with something other than an error.
Yeah, I mean.
And then after that, maybe fix the functionality.
As someone just coming and looking at this code, I have no clue like what the logic error was that they made in typo. Like I don't know what their the logic process they were going through and what the error was, but
well, that's what we
like a create page and a new page, and like I don't know if they just redirect it to new instead of create. If that's it, what?
Well, how do we figure that out? I mean, that's the thing about working with legacy code. You got to figure it out. Even if there is a specification document, you can't guarantee that it's going to be right. So how do we figure that out? Like what they're trying to do?
Do they have a create method or just a new method?
There's no create method.
Well, I think
no create method in the
we
control.
need one then.
Do we need a create?
I think we do.
Okay.
Following the structure of like the previous assignments, and
all right. So let's create it.
Assuming that that's like
I'm a little
convention is to have a create new.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I suppose following a convention is a good thing if you have a decent reason to do it. Yeah. But I'm wondering if there's something simpler we can do just to get the page to load first, rather than like try to guess what methods you're supposed to write and then make something. Like if I made a create method now, it wouldn't fix the problem we have yet. You think it would?
Well, if we create method, then we can have it do whatever we want. So we can have it display a category, like a field, a form with fields to create a category. And we could do whatever we want it to do. And have them, when they click the link, we can make it do whatever they want.
I have a suspicion that create is the actual API call, and that new is the method that's supposed to just present an empty field.
Is new filling in information for anything?
Because create is the name of the method of the active record method that actually puts stuff in the database.
Well, if new is rendering a view, then it would need to, like, it might pass information to the view. But if we're just creating an object, it doesn't have to render a view at all. It just creates a new object and then redirects back. No, it creates a new object and then it redirects to a page showing the newly created object. It doesn't actually render anything.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So let's back up a sec. What we need for this set of CRUD methods in this controller to do the following things: destroy, create, present the user with the ability to add information, and then edit an already existing thing. Yeah, I think you're right about create, but creating that method won't solve our initial problem yet, because we need something. We need the new method to do what it's supposed to do rather than what it's currently doing. Because what it's currently doing is trying to find an already existing thing with an ID that we're not supplying it. So it's saying, I can't find that ID. But what we need new to do is to just present an empty form that allows the user to fill in all the information to create a new thing, and then when they submit that form, that's when create gets called. Am I thinking differently than you are about this?
No, I think that you're thinking about it correctly in the same way. It's just
okay.
Or new or edit. There's a save in there, so it is saving something, and then.
So my initial
after saving, we could just redirect to a page for displaying things.
Yeah. Yeah. My initial, because I think save category is performing the function that you want create to perform. So I think we've already got that, and you notice that it redirects to new. You see? And it even has a flash notice. So my initial, here's the thing.
So maybe that's the problem. Maybe
my initial intuition about this was that we just needed to check whether there was an ID, and if there wasn't one, then don't try to then don't try to use it.
Well, save category should probably redirect to show instead of redirecting to new. We save it and then it says, let me redirect to show.
There is no show.
Or show or edit.
So
edit showing is also like could be a pre-populated form for. But I think the way it's structured is it's show, and then if you make some changes and then send a post request to edit to save it.
Right. Okay. So my intuition again was that it should just check whether this exists, and if it doesn't, then don't try to use it. Just have it be run. Because everything is redirected to new. Unless every single time you go to this page, it redirects to new.
Mm-hmm.
Destroy redirects to new. New or edit redirects to new. Or renders new. Save category does that. Even index does that. They all do that. And then what new does is it just funnels everything into this one method. So what I think is this method is supposed to be the default information setup for the page. And if there's no ID, then it's blank. And if there is an ID, then it's just the category you're trying to create. But maybe we're supposed to do a complete redesign of this controller, in which case that's a really good thing to ask. So I don't know, was I off base there?
We could go back and look at the routes again and see if they have routes for show.
That's a good idea. Oh, sorry.
I think we could just you just go to the terminal.
So this did end up being as confusing as I thought it would.
It's min comment show. I don't see a min category show.
I don't either.
But it makes sense that they would be parallel. Like if there's a min comment show, there would be a min category show.
Is there an admin comment show? I didn't see it. You see it? Oh, admin comment. Yeah. I see. Okay. So you want to look at that. Controllers comments. I don't see it anywhere. No comments. Maybe it's called feedback. Oh, that's the screen.
How long do you want to go?
I don't have that much more time. This is kind of discouraging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like open-ended things. So.
Right. If I had to fix this, I could probably do it. But I'm trying to learn test-driven development. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Index. All these things. For yeah, edit, update. Let's see. Does it have show? No, there's no show. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess this was supposed to last half an hour. I actually do have to promote some other stuff. I don't know what to tell you. This is, yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe I came up with some notions that might have clouded my judgment a bit. So, outside of it. But I really, yeah, I don't know. So it's really unclear what what we're supposed to be testing. Right? At least it is for me. Do you have maybe final insight maybe about what you think we're supposed to be testing? The assignment just said, here's what the page is supposed to look like, and then take a look at what it really does, and it's just an error. So I just assumed they just wanted to not be error.
I think it's like there could be different objectives, but like the primary objective is just to get the feature working. And making it really beautiful, and everything else is secondary. Like when we submit the assignment, it's just gonna run some root tests and see if the feature works. It's not gonna look at our code at all.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop this now because I gotta get going. Sorry about
It's okay.
about the confusion. Sort of running around in circles here. All right. But good luck, I guess.
All right, thank you.
I hope this was helpful, at least a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I have a good idea of where to look for fixing it and writing the tests.
Oh, okay. Could you tell me?
Yeah, like I was saying, I think it's probably something to do with the redirecting and having like a separate newness and create. Like, I don't know if I have that structure worded correctly, but I think it's probably like you would create the new category and then redirect to showing it passing the ID. So you pass the ID and then to show the new category you just created.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. This was helpful. I hope it was helpful to you.
Are you gonna save this, or how does that work?
The video?
Yeah,
yeah, it's right to submit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Okay, yeah, just send me a link when you get that figured out, or I don't know if I can save it to you somehow. I don't really know how this thing works, but
yeah, it's possible. I'm gonna stop broadcasting. Okay. Thanks.
All right.